everybody. I am Melody Owen of Author Nation, where authors help authors. Welcome. And today I would like to introduce you to Martin Crosbie. Martin Crosbie, in 2012, in a press release, was called a success story by Amazon because of his debut novel, My Temporary Life. One of his self-publishing journey has been chronicled in Publishers Weekly, Forbes Online, and Canada's Globe and Mail. Martin's most recent novel, The Dead List, which is a John Drake mystery, was awarded a publishing contract by Kindle Press. He's also the author of three other works of fiction and the non-fiction book, How I Sold 30,000 eBooks on Amazon's Kindle, an easy-to-follow self-publishing guidebook. In 2017, Martin created BookDoggy.com to help authors promote their books, and in less than 3 years, he has promoted over 8,000 books and helped hundreds of authors connect with readers through BookDoggy.com. Martin was born in the Highlands of Scotland and currently makes his home just outside Vancouver on the west coast of Canada. And just so you know, there's a picture of the west coast of, or not the west coast of Canada, but a picture of Canada behind me. This is Moraine Lake in Lake Louise, Alberta, and I put it up because I happen to know that Martin likes to go camping and hiking. Welcome, Martin.
Hi, Melody. Thanks for having me. It's good to see you.
Yeah, thank you. It's good to see you too. So let's dive right in. You were a marketer before you were an author, and in 2012, when you started promoting books, you were willing to hustle and you were willing to be creative. So tell me what you tried back then, whether it worked or not.
Melody, you want me to tell my airport story, don't you?
I do.
I knew that you did. Before we even started, I knew you'd ask for my airport story. Back then, I had some degree of success with my first book, and there were a number of authors that I was networking with, and we put a lot of energy into how to connect with even more readers, how to get to that next step and find even more readers for our books. And we brainstormed and came up with all kinds of things, and some of them we did, some of them we didn't, and we were right and we were wrong too at that point, and I'll explain that in a second. But what I did in terms of the airport was I thought, well, where do people read? Where do they read on their devices, and where do they have time to read on their devices? And I thought, well, at an airport, they're waiting for flights, and it's a great place to read. So I printed out cards with the title of my book. I only had one book out at that point, and a link in terms of where to download it. And I think I gave a deal on it at the time too, and the book cover and a little description. And I wandered around Vancouver Airport handing out these cards. Handing out cards, whether people wanted them or not. I handed them out. Anybody that looked like they had a device or were to read at some point, I handed them, and I skipped past security guards and so forth, and managed to hand out a whole ton of cards. And then I went home, and with Amazon, of course, you can look at your dashboard and determine when the sales are coming in. And I sat and I waited, and there was no difference in the sales for that day or the next day or the day after. So it didn't work, but it was worth a shot. And I'd actually try it again because you just never know. So that was one of the things that I did and others did in terms of trying to find readers. And we in hindsight, I think we were right in terms of looking for new and unique ways to market our work. I think you always have to be doing that. And you always have to be promoting. You never stop promoting. But I wasn't devoting enough time to writing. You know, I'm a writer, and I need to become better at my craft, and I need more content for my readers. Because looking back now, I had a lot of readers. You know, positive reviews were coming in. Readers were connecting with me through Twitter or Facebook or wherever I was. They'd just be there. And I should have been putting more time into developing more novels and writing more novels. I'm a slow writer, but I could still have been working more and doing that. And the writers at that time that did that, and they wrote these series of novels. And, Book Doggy promotes Melissa Foster's books, and Melissa had started her kind of self-publishing writing career about the same time as me, the end of 2011, and she's over 90 books now. So that's a lot of books. I know, and they're good books, and that's a lot of books to get out there and give to your readers. So we were right and we were wrong. We should have been writing more at the time too.
Yeah, but I love the story, because what I find is authors who are creative do well. Authors who connect with readers in a creative manner and not just the same old, they do really well. And so I love the story. It encourages us to think outside the box, right? And you're at 7 published books now?
Yes, yeah, 7.
Excellent. Okay. So we are going to talk about book promotion through sites like Book Doggy today. But before we get there, can you tell us generally what's working in book marketing right now?
Well, we just talked about books in a series, and if you're fortunate enough to have books in a series, the most effective marketing technique that we see at BookDoggy right now is putting book 1 for free and linking to the other books. And that's one thing that we're so strong on at BookDoggy, is making sure that our subscribers have the link there to go to the other books and get them after they've been exposed to the first book. So we have, since the isolation period has begun,
yeah.
There's more people at home reading, of course. So authors are marketing like crazy right now, and there's more free books than I have seen in a long time. And book 1 of a series being free, readers like the book, and they pick up the other books. And typically, right now, I'm seeing that if it's a book in a popular genre that BookDoggy promotes, we're able to get 1,500 free books, free downloads approximately, and then the subscriber is typically purchasing of those 1,500. There's another 25, 30, 35, 40 books that are purchased from books in the series. So it's a great start in terms of exposing all those readers to your work. And of course, they're not all going to read the first book right away. It's going to take some time. So some of the sales will come afterwards. So that's a tried and true way of promoting currently.
Yeah, excellent. Thank you. So let's talk about book promotion sites. And just to make sure, can you just tell us what is a book promotion site, just to make it really clear to everyone?
So what BookDoggy does is we introduce readers to authors and authors' works. So there's a number of book promotion sites, and authors submit their book to us, or their book link, and put it on sale typically, and we promote it. We promote it through a newsletter, website, and a Facebook page to all our subscribers. So subscribers open up the newsletter and see what the deals are for the day, and they're exposed to the author's work.
Excellent. Now, are all book promotion sites the same?
No, they're different, and that's kind of why I decided to establish BookDoggy. With my own books, I promoted my books on every site you can imagine, probably every site out there, and some of them are very good, some of them are effective, but many of them aren't. And there were things that I knew I could do better. The customer service from many book promotion sites was just horrible, just absolutely horrible. And as authors, we just took it because we'd do anything to get our work out to more readers. So, and there were other things that I thought I could integrate into a book promotion site that authors would find beneficial. And I thought I could keep the price down, which we've been able to do. We're very proud that we're one of the lower priced sites out there. So that's kind of how it all began.
Yeah. So I have to say that is how businesses are born, right? I'm trying this out. I'm doing this. I can do that better. So it's a great way for a business to be born. So I think that's awesome. And on a second note, you said that, BookDoggy is it's $18, right? Each time you promote, am I right?
Yeah, to promote a free book, it's $18. To promote a non-free book, so a 99-cent book or at retail or whatever the price is, then it's $20 US.
And I've looked at book promotion sites and their prices, and that is a low price. How do you keep it that low?
Um, well, the goal was always to help authors. The goal was never to make a lot of money. The premier book promotion site is BookBub, and BookBub have a huge reach, and it's very expensive to promote on BookBub. And I never wanted to be the next BookBub. We are slightly profitable and hope to stay that way, but the goal was always to help authors. So we keep our pricing as low as we possibly can. We do as much as we can to give value for that price. So we're doing a bunch of stuff. But you're asking me how I keep it low. I don't really know. I don't know. I guess there's more profitability in some other sites. We have a pretty good team. There's only myself and two others, and they work very hard to keep this going, and they believe in what we're doing in terms of matching up readers with authors. And we get such nice emails from readers and authors, like just beautiful emails. During this time, this challenging time, I reached out and put a picture of my dog, Book Doggy, and I said to our readers, if you want to talk about anything, just reach out and contact us. Doesn't even have to be books, just reach out. And oh my goodness, got such nice emails back thanking us in general for what we do and for the books and so forth. So, as long as that positive energy keeps coming in from readers and authors, we'll just keep doing it. We don't need to make $1 million. We'll just keep doing it and keep the price as low as we can.
Yeah. So there's more than profits when you think of success.
Absolutely. Yeah. My goal has always been to just match readers, and my goal was to help authors.
Yeah.
And then as this built and more readers joined us, and I realized it actually gets to the point where now we have so many people that email us on an ongoing basis, and the emails will begin, "Hi, it's me again." That it's you almost feel like you're a necessary part of their life. There's a lot of shut-ins even without our current situation. So it's been so nice to help people in terms of getting them good books.
Yeah, no, I get that. So let's turn specifically to Book Doggy. And I guess my first question is, and I think this is right, it's for eBooks only.
Kind of. We focus on eBooks, but we also link to the audiobook. And of course, on the ebook page, there's also the print book is also there. So we link to the audiobook too. If an author has a video, we link to the video too. So, but primarily, the pricing is based on the ebook price.
Okay. And I wanted to talk a little bit about like when and how people should use, or what's the best use. I noticed that people can use the site or like pay for a promotion every 120 days. That's what you have currently. Yet you keep people's books on the website all the time. So can you just speak to a little bit to that? So once I've signed up once, my book is on your website, but I can put it through promotion once every 120 days?
Yeah, the key is the newsletter, because the newsletter is the blast that goes out that is definitely getting in front of readers' eyeballs. So we have a smaller newsletter, although recently it's doubled in size because of this situation. So we've got to be careful that we don't feature the same book too frequently. So we only feature the book once every 3 months, every 4 months. But on the website, it stays all the time. So the website has become kind of an online library for readers to go to. It's got a search bar where you can look up and find your favorite authors and search by genre. So we'll always keep the book on the website just so that it's cataloged there if readers want to find it. But the main focus for sure is the news.
So should I use Book Doggy when I launch my book and then use it like every 120 days? Or is there like a good time? Like, is there a good strategy around, when and how to use it?
Because we're lower priced, you can stack your ads, and that's what many authors are doing. So they're using Book Doggy as well as several other sites and using a couple of sites a day and promoting the price over a 3 or 4 day period, and building up or building down, and going from free back to retail, or from free to 99 cents, a number of different ways to do it. So you should stack with others and monitor, keep a record of which days you're using which site, so that you can get an idea of what's working and what's not working. There's a number of great blogs around that'll tell how effective sites are. Erik has got a great blog, and he regularly looks at all of our sites and tells his followers what's working and what's not working. So that's a great place to start in terms of what you're going to do with your book. And also he'll talk about genres too. There's also a site called Promo Stacker that will submit your book to you give them a set amount of money, and they'll do all the submissions, and they'll set up the stacking for you. So you want to stack for sure. And genre is important. How many books do you have? My advice would be, as I said earlier, keep writing and get more product out there. For a new release, for sure you want to promote it, get it out there, stack some ads. If you can afford to use a BookBub ad, apply to BookBub. You just never know.
Yeah, that makes sense. So it seems to me that this can be part of a short-term strategy, but it's also really a long-term strategy. So I know you sent me an article about someone who used book promotion sites as part of an overall strategy when she launched her book to get noticed. But it also seems like we can do this, maybe 3 times a year. That's also a long-term strategy. Is it both?
Yeah, I would think so. When I release a book, you want to get on the hot and trending list with Amazon as quickly as possible. So you want to go in super hard. And as you and I have talked in the past, there's a process to go through that. You want to hit the ground running and make sure that you have a number of reviews on your book already, and then have your ads stacked and promote the heck out of it and get a good run. And then we do try and make a little bit of money on our books. So once we've lowered the price and we've got some inertia, we want to raise the price a little bit and make some money so that we can afford to write another book and just keep on. And once every 3 or 4 months isn't a bad way to look at it. But hopefully, and again, if you're able to write books in a series, that's an excellent way to go. Then you can just jump from book to book to book in terms of promoting it. It used to be that none of us liked promoting in terms of promotion sites. None of us liked accepting book 2 as a free book, or book 2 as a 99-cent book to introduce readers to the rest of the series. But you know what? That seems to be changing. Readers seem to be more open to downloading book 2 of the series and then having a look at the rest of the series too. So if book 2 or even book 3 is a compelling story, and you've done everything right in terms of a good cover and a good synopsis, there's nothing wrong with promoting book 2. I seem to see that working more and more. And in terms of getting a long life out of promoting a book, I monitor Amazon's top free books and top paid books every day. And if you look at their top 20 books, top 20 free books and top 20 paid books every day, you'll see that the publication date on some of them isn't always recent, especially with the free books. It's really interesting. You can see books that were published 2011, 2012, 2013, and they're sitting at number 1, 2, or 3 on the bestseller charts. And we should know that, because new readers buy Kindles and start reading eBooks, thousands and thousands of them every day. So we got a new audience every day. So that book that you released some time ago still may have a lot of life in it. And one of the things that I love being able to promote, we work with a number of small publishing companies and medium-sized publishing companies, and I love being able to promote an author who's a well-known name. But you know what? I also like finding that book that missed. There are so many books that we come across that are I'll read the synopsis and I'll think, gee, that sounds great. And I'll read the look inside feature and I'll see, gee, that's really well written. Cover is good. And then I look at the reviews and I can tell by the number of reviews and the publication date that sometimes the book just hasn't sold. It missed. And we call those coulda, woulda, shouldas. And I love finding one that's a good book that missed, that we so many of them, Ellen, so many of them. And I know that because I've read them. I get them and I think, how could this not have been exposed to thousands and thousands of readers? So I love getting a book like that maybe came out 10 years ago and putting it at the top of our newsletter and working with the author and sometimes we'll do that if the synopsis we feel is just a little bit off. If we might make a suggestion, cutting a sentence out here or there, just because we think it's going to get better penetration, and put it at the top of the newsletter. And the results sometimes are fantastic because it's a book. There's a lot of books that should be out there, that should be in mass circulation, and they're not. So when we find one like that and it works, I just love it. Just love it.
Yeah. And I mean, that makes perfect sense. If I put a book out, in 5 years, even if I get good sales, it doesn't mean that in 5 years, it's not going to find another set of readers. If I put it through Book Doggy, and the person reading the newsletter may be looking at another book that day that caught their attention, but the next time mine comes through, mine might be the one that catches their attention. So that makes perfect sense. It's just, don't give up on books that you've written 5 or 10 years ago. They can still find a market. They're still good books.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect
Absolutely.
sense. Yeah. So are there authors or situations where Book Doggy is not a good idea, or there are books you guys don't take, or are there situations or types of books where you're like, this really isn't your thing?
Good question. There's a number of sites that focus on just one genre or one or two genres. We don't do that. I know as a reader myself, I like to read all kinds of different things, and we feel that the majority of readers, that's the case. So we promote everything. There's if it's real hardcore erotica, we pass on it. But everything else, we'll promote nonfiction, the usual science fiction, romance, mystery, LGBTQ. There's really very few that we passed on. We will pass if the quality is just very poor, and sometimes there's obvious books that have been published to maybe take advantage of people, that it's more of a brochure and sign up by product. So we investigate that too, so that we don't promote those types of books, but we promote a good cross section. There's many different genres that we feature.
Excellent. And so I pay my $18 and it goes in your newsletter, it goes on the website, it goes on your social media. Are there other things? And you've also said, like, sometimes you'll make suggestions on how synopsis or like promotion materials, if you see something that it's a really good book, but maybe it's not represented properly. Are there other things that Book Doggy does or maybe does not do for authors that you'd like to tell us?
One of the things that we started doing recently, we do those things. It goes into the newsletter, and the newsletter is promoted through social media as well as being mailed out, and it goes on the website. But on our Facebook page, we've started customizing or personalizing the posts that we make. So we'll mention a little something about the author, perhaps the book, and give kind of a personal comment in the book, so that it's not just a cookie cutter post on Facebook. Melody Owen's new book is 99 cents. Take a look at it. We'll mention a little bit about Melody and a little bit about the book, and we'll tell our readers why we decided to feature it. So we started doing that, and we're going to expand on that too, and do it more, because it's all of a sudden we're getting more interaction on our Facebook pages, and we do have a Twitter account. We have not been using the Twitter account, but we may go back on Twitter and perhaps Instagram too, and expand posts like that, because that's been very effective. We also encourage authors to send us a video if they have a video that we can show on our YouTube channel. or make a video. We've had authors that have made videos to just say hello to Book Doggy subscribers and tell a little bit about their books that we can show on our page too. And all of those areas get traffic. We wouldn't do it if they didn't get traffic. Obviously, the highest traffic goes directly to the book, but also if the series is linked, we're getting tremendous amount of traffic to the series page too. So I know as a reader, if I'm reading books in a series and I'm on book 1, 2, or 3, there's no better feeling than knowing that you have 3 or 4 books left for you to read, that you're going to be able to spend time with that character. So I know that readers enjoy reading books in a series, and that shows on the traffic that we're getting. But our subscribers also like looking at the videos that the authors send too. And we also link to the author's either Amazon page or their personal website, and they're going there too. And sometimes what authors are doing is they're and we can talk about list building too if you want. I'd love to talk about what we do with that. In terms of their author page, we'll link to their author page. And quite often authors will give away a free novella or a free short story through their author page. And to get it, the reader has to sign up for their newsletter, and they can opt out afterwards or stay involved with the newsletter. So we'll list on the Book Doggy ad that the author is giving away another free book if you go to the website. So that's also getting traffic too. Free is very important to readers, to all of us, of course. So, if we can give away another book, we're certainly going to talk about it, and that gets traffic too.
Those are really good points. And the whole idea of free, that's really important too. So as a reader, I can be price sensitive, but as an author, I can also be price sensitive. So I've written this book, I've already invested so much time in professional cover, professional editing. This is all quite expensive. So I know that I know when I work with authors, sometimes they feel really price sensitive when it comes to promotion. And I know, you think like you've just spent all this money on producing the book. You've got to put something into promoting it as well. But then from that, knowing that, what are some of the best practices that you've seen authors that come on Book Doggy and they're using Book Doggy and other sites and they're setting up their marketing goals, and what are the good goals and what are the best practices authors should be following?
Kindle Countdown deals are working well. So Kindle Countdown is if your book is exclusively through Amazon, you can reduce the price, and even putting the price down to 99 cents, you still retain a 70% commission rate during the time of the promotion. So Kindle Countdowns always work well. There's no change there. And I know I've talked about ebooks so much, and that was how I was initially exposed to so many readers. And free still works. Free is a great way to expose your work to authors, whether you only have one, or to readers, whether you only have one book. And it moves you up in the rankings, and then when it goes back to retail, you get that jolt of inertia and sell some books afterwards. Or whether it's a way to expose your other books to readers, free certainly works.
Yeah. And there's nothing like that feeling when you see your sales go up, right? You're like, yay, somebody likes me, somebody likes my book, somebody's reading my book. That feels so good, right?
I screenshotted so many times when my books, Amazon gives you those little badges when you're number one in a category, and I screenshotted so many times. So yes, it's a great feeling. It's that's why we're right. We want to connect with readers, right? So when it works, it's an awesome feeling. You're right.
Yeah, and it's part of the reason we do it, because there are a lot of authors who don't become millionaires and don't get movie deals and all of those things, but they still do it because they love that connection with readers. They love the idea that somebody's reading their thoughts and their ideas, so that's really cool. Thank you. Let's go back to the email list. You talked about email list building. If you got secrets, do tell.
I don't know if I have secrets. List building is very important. One of the things when I was, before I had Book Doggy, was I didn't want to be dependent on book promotion sites like Book Doggy. Yeah. So I wanted to build my list independently. I wanted to have lists of readers who are interested in my work. And authors still want to do that, of course. We want to be able to send out newsletters regarding our own work. And there's several ways to do that. The best way, and sorry, I keep harping on free book, but the best way is to give away a free book. There's two sites that are working very well. One is Book Funnel, and they're sites, but they're programs too. One is Book Funnel, and the other is Story Origin. Story Origin is a little bit newer. And with both of those sites, you can offer a free book and become part of a giveaway with other authors, a multi-book giveaway. The giveaway is promoted, and readers download your book, and in order to download the book, they give you their email address. Now, when you give away a book through Amazon or another vendor, you don't get the email address, but when you do it through BookFunnel or Story Origin, you get an email address. And so by getting the email address, then you can touch base with the reader and send information on your other work. BookDoggy will link directly to BookFunnel or to Story Origin or directly to a multi-author giveaway. And this has become our specialty. I don't know why it's working so well, but it's working really well. And authors consistently are promoting their BookFunnel links with us month after month after month. I actually have to quite often tell them that's too frequent. We got to wait just a little bit longer. And we've become very good at helping authors build their lists. And so an author will give their book away through one of those two programs, and they'll get hundreds and hundreds of new subscribers. The open rate and the open rate and the, I'm lost for the word, but the
click-through rate? No,
the readers stick with the newsletter and don't unsubscribe.
Yes.
It is very good. Authors are so impressed with how well that it's working. They're sending us back the numbers that they have and telling me how well, and gee, the readers are sticking with me. And you know, it's working across every single genre. I have a gentleman who writes children's books with his 13-year-old daughter. And he ran his first book with me 2.5 months ago. Since then, he's written 2 more books just to do it, just so that he can put it through. He's using Story Origin, so that he can use Story Origin and Book Doggy to build his reader base. I don't know what his end plan is, but he wants to build up as many subscribers as he can. So it's working really well. I have another guy called Skip Johnson who writes positive, life-affirming short books. And Skip has been advertising with us for 2.5 years. And every 8 weeks, 6 to 8 weeks, Skip has a different book that he promotes with us and builds his list. It's always, I think he's using BookFunnel only, and it's working really well for him. And I have so many other authors that are using that to build their lists. So it's a really effective way of building your list and being independent from the vendors and from promotion sites too.
Yeah, and you just actually made a really good point in there. You said, he every 6 weeks he promotes a different book. So when you say that you can promote your book every 120 days or every 4 months or whatever that is, that doesn't mean you can only promote one book. So if I had 5 books, I could space them out and promote all of them through BookDoggy, kind of once every, 4-6 weeks, I could be promoting a different book. So I'm always on there. I'm always in the reader's eye. And if it were a series, I might be promoting book 1 and then book 2 and then book 3. And if somebody doesn't see book 1, but they see book 3, they might go back and buy book 1 and 2. So I can see how, you've got to really think through your plan, understand like what your goals are, have goals, understand it, decide what tools you're going to use. And you've given us some amazing tools. Thank you. Have we missed anything? Is there anything like vitally important that we've kind of skipped or I haven't asked you about that you want to share?
No, I think that's good. I'm glad we touched on list building and all the different things that are working for authors. So no, I think you did a really good job with asking questions, Melody.
Good, excellent. So I just have one last question, if you don't mind. And I know, I kind of know this, but BookDoggy, why BookDoggy? So you love dogs? Is there more behind that?
A little bit, I guess. It's when you're trying to think up a domain name that hasn't been taken, it's really difficult, really difficult. So you want a book themed name that's going to appeal to readers, and my partner and I were sitting around, kicking around everything, and we'd come up with something, and I'd look it up. Oh, it's taken. Oh, it's taken. And the whole time, our dog was lying by the fireplace, and she said, Book Doggy, and fortunately, it wasn't taken.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's the best name or not, but it kind of gave us a mascot. I'm able to take pictures of our dog Brandy and use Brandy in some of the promotions. So that's how Book Doggy was born.
Yeah, I actually think it's a great name, right? We all, there's so many of us are pet people, right? We like cats or we like dogs. So, I mean, it sounds, Book Doggy sounds kind of, it has this friendly, welcoming kind of, right? Dogs are our best friends, right? So Book Doggy's your author's best friend. So I think there's so many possibilities there. I love it. Martin, thank you very much for talking with us today. I really appreciate it. You have been an incredibly generous person here in the Lower Mainland and in the West Coast of Canada with authors, and now sharing your knowledge, throughout the world on podcasts and videos like this. You are very much appreciated. Thank you very much.
Thanks for having me, Melody. It was fun.
Okay. You have a good rest of your day.
Thank you.
Thanks, Martin. Bye-bye.
Bye.